I didn't. You're going to say Walker. I did not.
But the fire department borrowed our diesel truck.
The Sam Club.
Yes.
How's it going?
Good.
If it would just decide
Yeah, I know.
to record.
But you know what? What miles on that? What did he say? Like 30,000?
There we go. Now we might, hey, it looks like it's 11 o'clock. We'll call to order the Board of Public Works and Safety meeting for December 30th, 2024. Welcome, everybody. Good to see you all. It's the last one of the year, so let's get it done. Has everybody had a chance to review the minutes of the previous meeting? If so, I'll entertain any motions related to.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes as presented.
And I'll second it.
Motion and a second. All those in favor signify with aye.
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 All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. No public hearings, no old business, going straight into new business. Farmers Market request. Junkyard Barbecue would like to use the Farmers Market lot. They may have some other trucks that do join them, but the date is 1/17 of 2025 from 11 A to 7 P. We've had no complaints that I'm aware of about Junkyard Barbecue and Mr. Calhoun.
Not that it matters, but why could there be other trucks joining them?
Because a lot of times he will encourage others to join at the same time.
Yeah,
I mean,
variety of stuff.
he realizes that when he's not the only show in the parking lot, it usually draws a bigger crowd. So I think he's had some luck with inviting others along,
Makes sense.
and then sometimes he's also doing fundraisers for different stuff. This one does not say that though. So
Well, I'd make a motion to approve it.
Second.
motion and a second to approve Junkyard's request. All those in favor signify with aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Brad, if you want to move over one, it'll save a lot of paper.
It will be.
Or at least paper sliding.
Yeah.
Chris actually stopped by. Her spouse is sick at the moment and was at the doctor. So, okay, let's see. Next up, Spud Bank. Lakin Eubank would like to use the farmer's market lot on January 2nd, 9th, 16th, 23rd, and 30th from 11 to 2. So these would be lunchtime events. Again, have had no complaints that I'm aware of on Spud Bank. Mel, Jane, speak up if I miss one on those. Spud Bank has been back for, 3 or 4 months now. They'd taken a hiatus as they built a house earlier this year.
I'll make a motion to allow Spud Bank to operate during those dates and times.
Second.
Motion and a second on Spud Bank to approve. All those in favor signify with aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Congratulations, Spud Bank. Next up, residential handicap parking space renewals. We've got 2 more coming down the pipeline here. I'll read them both. Callie Hudson, Calvin Boulevard, and Patricia Hoffmeyer on East 4th Street. Doctor's signatures are present on both forms. Everything appears to be in order for these renewal spaces for handicap.
Do you want a motion to do them both at the same time?
If that's how you would like to do it, I'll be glad to accept
I
it.
would make that motion to approve both of them.
I will second that.
Motion and a second to approve both. All those in favor signify with aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Taxi cab license renewals. Looks to be that time of year as well. Go through these one at a time, I guess. Let's see. Bennifer's Taxi Service. Jennifer Tigran, I guess is how we're going to say it. The applicant's residence is Oak Street. The office resident address is North Ewing Street. We have a Ford Taurus and a Ford Edge. 3 drivers. Sorry, trying to make sure I hit the things you might ask me before you ask me. Signed off by an officer. I can't read that signature. Maybe should have been a doctor instead of a police officer. Oh, Albring. There we go. On one of them, and Cy Moss inspected the other one. Appears everything is in order. Any complaints I'm not aware of on these? Got one head shake no back there, so.
That being the case, I'll make a motion to allow Benefield's Taxi Service the renewal license.
Second.
Motion and a second for Benefers. All those in favor signify with aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next up, Bartolome Tomac is the applicant for B&T Multi-Services LLC. This is a renewal, correct? Yep. 600 Holiday Drive is the current address. 22 years.
And what are we looking at? B&T?
B&T.
Yeah, 409 East Second Street.
Well, and that's what I'm looking at, because I'm trying to figure out when the application should be. Okay, the address of the office is 409 East Second. The applicant's address is 600 Holiday. And that's what I was struggling with, because we've changed the application ever so slightly. Basically making sure they're running their office in a commercial area is the reason I mention it. They're using a Kia Sportage, 22 years of driving. Officer Johnson did this inspection. Everything appears to be in order as far as the car goes. Questions? Complaints that
I
we're
guess
aware
that
of?
409 East Second is it'd be just past George's on the maybe.
Next block
The
up,
next
it'd be
block.
about the old pet
Oh, yeah.
care place somewhere right in there.
There's several commercial type things.
Yeah, several commercial lots up through there for sure.
Yeah, they've been around a while, right?
Yeah, a couple
Yeah.
years at least.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve. All those in favor signify with aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Second page on that one, Brad. On-call services contract with American Structure Point. Darren, have you had a chance to review this one?
I haven't seen the new contracts, there's last year's prices.
Perfect. Let's see, it looks like everything went up $15 to $20. Yeah, $10 on that one. Across the board, $10 to $20 increases across the board on everything. Darren's talented and can put that number into percentages if you really want.
What do they do?
I was getting ready to
I
ask
don't
the
know
same
that we
thing.
used them for anything. I think we just had them in case that there was a conflict with Bernie on a project, then we bring them in to do
So they're
reviews.
Engineering type stuff.
Yeah, it's just an on-call if we need them for something, they're available without having to get a contract in place first.
There's no retainer, it's just a contract if we use.
And that's the rates if we use, you say we didn't use them?
I don't,
Not,
We didn't use them last year.
I was gonna say, I don't think we used them at all last year.
Okay.
We added them mid-year maybe.
I'd say about a 5 to 7% rate increase is what it looks like
So,
overall.
questions?
no, I mean, it's kind of self-explanatory as far as I'm concerned. I'll make a motion to, I guess, renew the contract or?
Renew the agreement?
Renew the agreement for American Structure Point.
Second.
Motion and a second to renew the agreement for American Structure Point. All those in favor signify with aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, that one only needs one signature, so. There's that one. Okay, next up, legal representation, City of Seymour, Indiana. This would be from Chris. The only change is the date. She felt that after 4 years, it might be good to re-sign. No change in her rate.
No brainer for me. Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor signify with aye.
If you was here, I'm sure
Aye.
we'd have to ask her some questions.
We'd have found 4 or 5 just for entertainment, if nothing.
Dodging a
else.
bullet, wouldn't she?
Like, really, you got the stomach for some more of this shit?
Okay, let's see, that one just required one signature as well. medical qualification administrator contract, Seymour Transit. Taylor or Edie in here on this one?
Nope.
Okay, this is our annual third-party agreement to administer the contract related to the physicals for Seymour Transit. Seymour Transit, 301 North Chestnut. There we go. Indiana University Health is who we send them to get their physicals. That comes from a recommendation from NDOT.
And that's the drivers, correct?
Drivers, yes.
And this is just another contract, another yearly contract?
Another yearly contract.
And the drivers, I assume, get a physical every year?
Yes.
Okay.
Or if they are out of service for more than 30 days, they have to have a physical to go back on the road.
Really?
30 or
days?
31, it's pretty short.
I'll be darned.
Wow.
And the only reason I know that is I actually hold the proper license to drive for them, but we were afraid that I wouldn't drive once a month to be able to help fill in the gaps. So that keeps me out of the bus.
I guess it does.
Jane, if you want to start scheduling me once a month to go drive for transit, we can talk about it after a while. So,
I'll make a motion to, accept the contract for one more year.
Second.
motion and a second. All those in favor signify with aye.
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 Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. That one also is just one signature. Seymour Fire Department collective bargaining agreement. Caleb, you want to talk about it, or you want me to wing it?
This one was fairly simple. We added the raise that the rest of the city got. We took some money from incentive pays and moved them over to base pay to help increase our pension base, make it a little more attractive to bring in qualified applicants to come in. And it helps our retirees whenever they leave. So it was money that was already being expended towards payroll items, but was just moved over to base pay. The last thing was
A little extra money
a
on.
little extra for health incentives, health
Rephrase that.
screening
Screening,
stuff.
yes.
So basically chest x-ray or a lung scan or something to do with doctor's visits sponsored by the city. So just to help bolster those things. And then the last thing was we clarified some wording with Chris on grievance procedures. And that was, I worked with Eric and the mayor and Chris to just clarify some wording. No change in how it's done. It just made it more clear as to how it is to be done.
Yeah, with times. Yeah.
I will, before we do a motion on that, I want to throw just one piece into that. So the health screenings, last year through the budget cycle, we added the health screenings. Thank you, Caleb, and everybody that was involved in finding the company we used there. They did come back, and when the screenings were done this year, included retirees up to a certain age, correct?
Yeah, we need to raise that.
I
think I hit my one and only.
But you got a baseline now.
Yeah, I have a baseline.
But in the course of it, we did find one issue with a firefighter, so that was taken care of very early.
Undiagnosed previously.
Undiagnosed previously, taken care of very early. I won't say his name just because I haven't talked to him about that part, but overall, I think it went well. I'm glad we did it. The extra money that we're putting towards it for this year is really not even any extra because we did switch to the recommended every other year. So this just comes out of that every other year part of that. So no major changes on that, but I do appreciate the fact that we, I jokingly said the first round of all this that if we only found one person, it was worth every penny.
There's even
Well,
a
we've
couple
already done
more that
that.
were kind of just alert type
So
things.
there
weren't
was-
they?
I think we had 3 guys, besides the one that was already spoken of, that had actionable items that they had to get followed up with, at least 3.
Yeah.
That told me about it. There could have been others that didn't tell me that this happened as well. But we did have one who did have cancer and that treatment was provided and, able to come back to work already. So, it's one of those things that without this screening, it may have been 3 or 4 years before they found this, and it could have been significantly worse.
Definitely.
So his prognosis, he called me right after he went to the doctor, and they said 99.9% chance we get this first shot because it was found so early and it was so small. So thanks to you guys too. You know, his mom called me the next day and said, "It's amazing that we have done this. Thank you so much for fighting to get this done." And I mean, it wasn't a fight is the answer.
No, that one was
We
pretty
brought
easy.
it in and said, "Look at this," and everybody said, "Yeah, that's a great idea."
Yeah.
So
So the city has done something right in the last several months.
Contrary to word on the street. So anyway, that's the current update. I just wanted to share though that it was, I'm glad that we,
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
last
and
year.
I hope we waste the money the rest of the time.
I do too.
But the evidence points to the fact that we'll probably find something else.
Yep.
Statistically, your line of work is, plagued
Yep.
with cancers, so.
Well, again, no brainer for me. I mean, that's money well spent, and the rest of it's just what everybody else is doing anyways.
Yep.
Yep.
I'd make a motion to approve the contract with the fire department.
Second.
Motion and second. All those in favor signify with aye.
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 Thank
All
you.
those opposed, same sign.
Thanks, Caleb.
Thanks, Caleb. Bernie Hausberger. Congratulations, you get to follow that.
Yes. Unfortunately, I can't get anything close to that, but I'll try to at least make any bad news tolerable if I can. All right. To start with, I'd like to. You'd mentioned our on-call services last time we met. I'd like to see if you guys are interested in renewing me for another year or until you feel like you want to get rid of me at least.
I thought we did that.
No,
We just reviewed it.
We just haven't told you.
Oh, okay, okay.
If anybody wants to see it again, there's kind of our contract.
Darren, this was what, a 2% increase?
a little bit more than that. Bernie's increase on his particular job title was only a 3.7% increase. Now, his survey tech, it went up 33%.
How often do we use?
Yeah, we don't.
How often do we use Bernie?
If anything, we're trying to get.
What was the other survey tech price? That's what happens when you show up for this, you get beat up.
I know. Basically, I'm trying to give you guys a good deal on engineering. You give me an office, you give me a computer. I feel like that's worth some cost that it's a benefit to us because I don't have to, carry a laptop around too much, and we can keep everything kind of straight between the two offices. So.
Other questions for Bernie on this one?
And Bernie has presumably already filled out the conflict of interest disclosure statement, assuming, it will need your signature too.
Wow.
Yeah, I definitely have a conflict when I hire myself. No, I have somebody from my office doing the work. So.
Boy.
We need a motion to accept this, is that correct?
Yes, and a motion, if you want to do a motion to accept that, we probably need to do one to accept his conflict of interest form as well.
Can we do them together, or?
I'm fine with it.
I'm comfortable with it, yeah.
I'll make a motion to accept both of Bernie's requests for renewal and conflict of interest.
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor signify with aye.
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 Oh, you found something
Were
there.
you just
Same
making him
sign.
sweat a little when you hesitated there?
Motion accepted. No, I'm just trying to make sure I signed it in the right spot, and I'm not sure I did.
You like me, can't do two things at once, huh?
Darren will tell me if I signed the wrong spot on that one in a minute.
Thank you.
What else you got, Bernie?
Okay.
Wait a minute though. You brought that before the bad news, didn't you?
That's right, I did. You can always rescind it. Always and every day.
I don't remember the beginning.
Sorry. Okay, I got some kind of
Oh, wait, his voice cracked.
That's really scary. That's really.
Oh,
How
no.
bad is
I
it?
think I sang too loud at church, and I got a cold, so my voice is probably gonna.
I'll come up there, man.
All right, let's just get this done. We're trying to get Burkhart noted as a minor arterial, all the way kind of around the horn to A Avenue or Airport Road. So for some reason, the state's not real comfortable with making that an arterial until we make corrections in Freeman Field. Freeman Field has, right now they've got a major collector on C Avenue, which is now got a cul-de-sac on two sides of it. So it's just, it's not anything. It's just a local road to us. So we need to get that changed in the state inventory, if that makes any sense. There's a state website that has what the classification is for every road in the city, and it's currently kind of we haven't made the corrections to Freeman Field. Does that make any sense?
So we're updating the classification of
Right.
Burkhart.
So I would like to ask you guys to let me go ahead and make that correction to make B Avenue to 4th Avenue, which is where, I don't know if you're familiar with it, if you come into Freeman Field next to Jackson School, you go to a T intersection, if you just go straight to dead end. And then what we'd like to do is make that right turn, and then when you come to, I guess it's E Avenue and C Avenue kind of come together there, where, on 4th Avenue. So we come into 4th, this has really got a little confusing, but you go to 4th Avenue, then you make a left turn, and then on E Avenue you go across, and then you finally meet up with A Avenue again. And so A Avenue comes down to the roundabout. So I'd like to try to keep that as a major collector. And that's basically the only way to get up to some of the businesses in Freeman Field.
Okay, let's back up to the 30,000 foot version. You want to turn Burkhart into what?
A minor arterial. And that's
Minor
the way,
arterial.
That's what it is the rest of the way around
Okay.
to State Road 11.
And you want to turn which avenue into a collector?
Okay. I want to turn B Avenue, a little portion of 4th Avenue, and a portion of E Avenue. I want to make those collectors, major collectors. And then I want to remove C Avenue, and I want to remove, actually, G Avenue, which, you remember the old way through the shortcut around Cabot, where that there was a little piece of that that's still there, and it's shown as a collector. I'd like to go ahead and we delete that off the list too. And then finally, there's a small piece of, and you guys probably don't even know this exists, but 6th Avenue is right behind the old Gurkers. It still is behind the old Gurkers. It just kind of services, it goes to the cul-de-sac pretty much there.
When you say remove from the list, you're just talking about the classification.
Okay. I want to change it to a local road.
Perfect. Okay.
They
So
just
does
changed-
that help in the future when you're trying to get grants to?
Well, they won't, right now they won't give me the minor arterial on Burkhart until we make these other corrections.
It's cleaning up our list.
List goes any businesses have change addresses, legal addresses and stuff?
It's all just,
Okay.
it's all colors on a map
Okay.
when the day's done.
Is this at a cost, or is this just
Well, you'd have to hire us to help. Yeah, our company's trying to get that organized. So on our hourly rates, we're trying to get that changed with the state.
Which classification person's doing that, Bernie?
The highest, no, just,
Of course, the highest.
unfortunately, they're all about the same. January 1. So. I'll try to get that done before January 1 if we can. So anyhow, I don't know if that takes a motion or if that's more of just information. I wanted you guys aware of that. And if you never wanna hear about this again, that's fine, I won't bring it up.
I think it's just informational, cause it's just administrative work that needs done, so.
By reclassifying those, though, it helps us out on Second Street.
I guess, sure.
Okay.
What's reclassified though, we're looking at maybe doing some new signage for the bypass, so.
Well, that's a secondary issue. We are looking at some signage right now. All right, then you brought up Second Street. I did want to mention that Second Street has a sanitary sewer main that was a major concern of mine that had to be replaced before the storm sewer kind of got put in place also. And that actually was done. So I think it was a 30-inch main. Pretty much a majority of the sanitary sewer in Seymour runs through this main around Carter Street, and they had that replaced in a few days. So that's now a major part of that project complete. So they'll continue with the storm sewer construction at that point. So anyhow, that was an update on Second Street. Anything else on Second Street?
Yeah, no, so they took the holidays off, which is great. I think they should. Are they coming back late this week or first of next week?
Chad's probably more familiar with.
I think Miller Pipeline was working there. I drove past them this morning there by the apartments on Second.
Well, Miller's utility though, so.
Yeah.
I meant the actual
I'd have to-
contractor.
January 7th, I have to look at the calendar.
So next,
6 is a Monday.
6 is Monday, so probably Monday.
Okay. so Monday.
Okay. I just that's what I was curious about, was when they got back to work, so.
Okay, sorry, I'm not
That's okay.
super familiar.
I knew one of the two of you knew.
Okay, then I wanted to go over some things that were happening on CCMG 24, which is O'Mara's project. What happened was we ran into, I call it a can of worms on Vestlage, where the road just kind of fell apart on us, even though we thought we had a good plan for it. That was just the weather came in at the wrong time for them and for us. So here's what we've done. We ended out we did a work change directive to try to salvage, what we could from that project and make it the best project possible. And basically we tore that road kind of completely all the way out and then rebuilt it. So it should be a new roadway that'll last longer than we originally had, but it came at a price. But we juggled numbers around for the other projects in this round of construction. What we're ending out is with an increase of $9,420 for that issue on Vestlage Street. So Chad already signed the change order on that, or the work change directive on that. I'm gonna just present that.
Where is that at? Is that down by Westgate?
The whole road, basically.
Pretty much from
That's just for the
Second all the way down to,
If anybody's else.
they tore it out right before it rained for 3
That
days.
kind of itemizes up at the top what happened.
And it's $9,000 to fix it?
Well, that was the difference in the change order. Okay. Basically, they had to go back through
And then,
fix where it blew up.
and then what we're asking
That was
now
just
is
in one
we
place.
need to get a change order for something.
It was a pretty good length, I believe.
And then this is a little longer. I'm gonna just give you guys all. This is a fun one to try to explain. Okay, so if you go to the middle section up at the top, it says description, Vestlage Road Work Change Directive, plus $9,420. Then under that, we had insurance for the railroad that we had to change order into the project, and their cost is $28,870.5. And then back to Vestlage Road, we also had concrete work that came into play where we had to move some sidewalk to get a better approach, and then also on Shields Avenue, we've asked where we had some concrete work that was damaged, and that was part of that's not been paved yet on Shields, but the concrete sidewalk ramps were done, and there was a little bit of extra work that had to be done on shields. So in short, we're looking at a $30,127 and 62-cent change order for this job to continue what we've already got planned to some degree for it. And we're just asking for your approval so we can go ahead and get a payout from O'Mara for this work.
And that 30,000 includes the 9,000 that you talked about a minute ago.
Correct.
Well, as much as I don't like change orders, I understand $3 million project does require them, so.
And part of that was weather related, correct?
Absolutely.
Okay.
What we'd like to do is, obviously, we've still got a good portion of the project going on. If we can try to cut something back, we're gonna try to do that. Maybe, hopefully, at the end of the job, it'll be a negative change order, but I wanna make sure, that you guys, it's fair to the contractor. He needs to be paid for what he's already pretty much done with our direction.
Well, I mean, I hope you're right. I hope it comes down to that, and I mean, we can't control the weather, so, I'm okay with making a motion to, accept the change order.
Pretty small amount in the big package.
It is. When he said 9, I'm thinking, that first
Yeah.
initial 9, I thought it was gonna be a 90, and I thought, golly.
Yeah, I'll second it.
Motion and a second. Need one of those copies back.
Yeah, they're different things.
Yeah, they are. Motion and a second. All those in favor signify with aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Darren. You start
Just
to
a
say
comment, Bernie, I mean, obviously O'Mara bid the project, and I would think they've done enough work around railroad tracks, they should have known they needed insurance, so they didn't incorporate that in their bid. Is that what the deal is here, or what?
No, that's fair. I just didn't put it, usually I would put a line item in the bid to maybe say railroad insurance by contractor, and they didn't, I didn't do that, and they didn't. They acted like it was gonna be a change, so we put it in the project.
Okay.
We are doing the permits for them. It's not like they're doing the permits. And there are additional costs for permits that are coming too, but it's not part of the contractor's responsibility. All right, I have one more thing. You still got time for me? This is CCMG for 2025. We've kind of listed the roads. I don't know if this is, for some reason I ran out of colored ones. Sorry.
You already gave me one, so that'll be why.
You get a black and white one if that's all right.
Oh, that's fine.
You want the pretty one?
No, I'm good.
It's more for information only. We need to make the submittal to the state within the next 2 to 3 weeks. We actually have a meeting on on one of these roadways in the next week to check whether the drainage. We're going to make some drainage improvements too on these roads, and so Water Pollution Control is going to meet with us, I believe next Monday, and we'll try to make sure that these are what they want to see too, as far as improvements on the streets. We also plan to have a utility meeting, maybe in mid-January, with any utility company in the city would be able to come in and talk to us about these projects if they have any need to make improvements before we get there. But again, this is just the application process. The plans and specs and bidding is all done in more like June, if they approve these.
So this is what we hope to do in 26 or something like that?
25 through
Late
26.
20, we'll ask for it next month and then work on it late in the year or early into 26.
Kinda surprised me there was a section of Burkhart Boulevard. that's
Yeah, I was
not
looking at
done.
that too, O'Brien to 11.
Was there a goof up there or something didn't get laid correct or what? I mean,
Where are you at? I'm sorry.
on number
I-
5, Burkhart Boulevard from O'Brien to State Road 11/Ewing Street.
I think it's more about just trying to get it done before it's
It's
terrible.
It's kind of like on when we did US 50, Burkhart from US 50 over the the, over the railroad. And we're trying to get that done, and we're kind of hitting it from both angles, both ways. The road's just starting to fall apart again.
But even from.
I guess I see now,
O'Brien.
when I saw Ewing, I was thinking more of the southbound.
No, I'm
When
sorry.
I saw O'Brien to Gerkers.
No, I'm
So
sorry,
and
this
then I
isn't-
saw Ewing, so I was gonna say
So
that.
really should probably say Tipton to Ewing or something.
An
Well,
older section
last year we
compared
did a
to
section from
what I was
Tipton.
thinking it was, so.
No, it's the older section.
Gotcha.
This is the
Gotcha.
section from O'Brien to Highway
But
11.
yeah, that's,
Okay.
Ewing.
I
North
would have
of-
liked
north
to
of
have gone all the way
Okay, got it.
to
I was all
Fourth
the way
Street.
down south of O'Brien.
But,
Which is probably, what,
we're
15 years
kind of
old
hitting
Yeah,
that,
oh,
and
yeah.
it's a big cost, obviously, if we go over $500,000, that's for one road, that's a killer on our budget, so we still have another probably $500,000 to go to finish up that north section finally and get it resurfaced.
So just so you guys are aware as well, the state has NDOT has told us that they'll be doing 1.5 again this round, that it may change in the fall, depends on what the legislation does. But this round you can request up to 1.5 with you matching 50%.
Okay.
I do, from everything I'm hearing, expect road funding to change in the
To the
future.
good?
Probably depends on which side you talk to.
Okay.
So, just to throw some of the confusion in there, so if Jackson County requests this, it's 75-25. 75% state funding, 25% county funding. If the city of Seymour requested, it's 50% city, 50% state. So,
Small towns, even better than that.
we're just big enough population-wise that we're in that next bracket, but the county's small enough that they're in the lesser bracket. So, yeah. Oh, the funds of state
Yeah.
legislation.
And that number used to be $1 million, not $1.5 million.
Yeah, it was $1
right?
million until last year, and last year we were awarded the 1.5. And then, like I said, they're doing it again this round. They don't know for sure what it'll be after this round, so.
Been a lot of times redevelopment money.
Redevelopment is the typical source for
Right.
this match. So we do have some MVH restricted that will probably include somewhere this year on road work, whether it's with this or federal projects, one of the
So
two.
it's pretty fair to say that the county won't be asking for this.
Yeah, the county's not gonna
Yeah.
ask for this.
Okay.
It's on our inventory, so.
Looks like a good list.
That's what I was sitting here counting. I think there's 20 or 21 different sections or different roads covered in the 22 sections proposed. So, shout out to Bernie and Chad and everybody involved in working on,
Looks like part of that's out there, the newly annexed, to get it up to
Meadow
Yeah.
Brook.
975,
Yeah.
925 and 950.
Yeah, all of these are very low rated on our passer rating that came out this year. So some of these may have popped up. They all were in the 2 years, or when we did it 2 years ago, very similar numbers. A few of them did drop, but a lot of these are what's called twos, which are poor shape roads. So we need to get to these. Hopefully we can get the funding. All right?
Yep.
All right, thank you.
Hey, one quick question. The sidewalk, like 1500 block of East Tipton,
Yeah,
they're putting in new sidewalk. Was that part of the old Tipton Street project that was,
okay.
what
These-
happened there?
This is okay, I'll just tell you, we're trying to get anytime there's a development going in, we're gonna try to get sidewalk put in at no cost to the city. So when JC Fuel came in, we asked them to do the trail in front of JC Fuel
Okay.
as part of their development package, and they agreed to that. So that's where that's going in. It's really not city, it's to city standards, but it's not paid for by you guys.
I was curious about that.
And then the part at PNC Bank, or not PNC, that's the only part that the city did have to fund. And Chad was able to get a good price on that and saved us, I think it was half what was quoted by another contractor. And then the part in front of a public service, Duke, is, was actually a development that they wanted to do, so they paid for that. So the good
That
news is.
just ties in even more to what was done
Right.
prior.
And now we have the the worst thing in the world that nobody can figure out a good solution on is that piece in front of Taco Bell.
Yeah.
That's just expensive, and we'll see what we can come up with.
I think I offered a great alternative the other day.
Actually, the mayor has the best design yet. I think is just fill
So
the thing
far.
in. I'm kind of waiting for. I think that culvert is probably in poor shape. I didn't really look it up with the state since the state takes care of that. But when they replace that culvert, it'd be nice if we could get that area kind of filled in and put the sidewalk across to Burkhart and fix the drainage in that area too. So I drove through that thing. Was it just yesterday that it rained real hard in town?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was driving around Sunday morning and I did go to church, just for the record. On Saturday night.
We didn't
You guys, I
question
don't just
anything.
cruise around on
Calm
Sundays.
down. Well, you already told us about your voice. You sang too loud in choir, Bernie.
Yeah.
That's two church
We don't look that
references,
smart, but we can figure a few things
So
out.
I'm just saying, I don't like doing work on Sunday if I can help it. But when you get a big flood like that, it kind of makes my car wander around a couple of different areas in town that we know there's a problem. But there is trying to figure out what's going on with for some reason there's a huge amount of water coming out of out onto US 50 that seems to be flooding us, and I'm trying to maybe we can come up with a solution there at some point down the road, because that is a major intersection that doesn't need to flood. All right, that's all I have.
Did you see Bernie, or does he go to North Vernon Parish?
I wasn't there Sunday morning, so I normally go Saturday evenings.
I'm sorry, I'm out at Hayden, so St. Joe's Parish.
Okay, Four Corners.
Yeah, Four Corners. Have a nice day.
Okay. Thanks, Bernie. Mr. Bose.
Have two sewer adjustment requests. First one being Trent Wynn, 3523 Regents Drive, irrigation through October 31st. Looking for a total credit of $65.84. And the second one, Joe Stambro, 2271 Mulberry Drive. Hose was left on out back. Looking for a credit of $153.72. Both meet our criteria, and I would ask that you approve these sewer adjustments.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve. All those in favor signify with aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Anything else, Mr. Bose?
I believe that would be it.
Okay. Miscellaneous stuff that always loves to come in shortly after Jane puts out an agenda. Dirty Dough food truck.
What?
Dirty Dough.
Dirty dough.
Would like to use the farmer's market lot. If you remember, we did approve their license a while back. They would like to do New Year's Eve, January 3rd, January 31st. Oh, Valentine's Day and March 28th. Now, the Valentine's and March 28th are farther out than we normally do. We usually do about a month ahead. So, your guys' prerogative on that one.
I think we need to stick with our guns and have them reapply. I mean, I'm okay with approving, the New Year's Eve date but we're just gonna open up a can of worms if even though it would be easy to do, it's still, I think we need to stick with our guns.
Okay.
So I'll make a motion, nope,
January 31st also.
okay, correct.
Just the January dates.
Yes, the January dates.
Okay.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve Dirty Dough for 3 dates, December 31st, January 3rd, and January 31st. All those in favor signify with aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, same sign.
Dirty dough.
Motion carries. Okay, miscellaneous from the crowd. I'll give you the one update I've got. We got notification last week. I would let Chris talk about it. The judge has made a ruling in the Knights Inn decision. They are still shut down until all 23. Don't quote me on that because I don't remember the exact number. Items are resolved according to the court system. So we've been waiting for months and months and months for that ruling to come in. but, it did finally come in just before Christmas. So,
How many items are corrected? None?
without
Very
Mark
few?
or Jeremy or somebody here to tell me, I'm not sure. I know they have corrected some,
Yeah.
Yes.
so, but the judge did finally make a ruling that they're still closed down until all items are resolved,
As they should be.
so. Anything else?
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
I thought Tay was gonna say.
Enjoy the
go
rest
eat
of the
something.
year, everyone.
Greg,
Uh,